All right, I am here. We are on a roll on these Mondays, huh? Coming out on time, getting put on the YouTube on time, Mondays, midday, rock and roll. Welcome to Gemstones and Jewelry, Minerals and Fossils, and Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn, as I like to say. Okay, so if I sound a little loopy, it's because I just had a conversation with Asif and David, and anytime you have one of those with those boys, you're bound to come away either smiling or crying. This time it was smiling because I told him, I said, you know, I always say a little prayer before the show starts, and I said, this prayer today is for you guys, not for me. Oh, no. All right, welcome to a great show today. New stuff, sale on other stuff, and we'll see. Last week, no one, for only the second time in 6 years, 295, almost 300 shows, no one won the trivia prize. And that was kind of surprising. But there was a winner. We did not discover it. I did not discover it until this week in doing the comments, because I think Miss Barbara got her comments in a little late. I know after watching the show that she will have realized that she would have won the prize that nobody won. And let's see how the day turns out. Let's see how today. So we're going to start off with Miss Barbara's comment from a week ago. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Hi, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Still working with my handyman on long deferred maintenance around the house. Scraping, priming, and painting, while he is not otherwise employed. Taking advantage of his skills to spiff up the place, since my days of doing it myself are long over, almost finished, just waiting for the current heat wave to pass. No kidding. And that is my in Georgia, the summertime. I mean, before I got the long COVID symptoms, it was difficult enough. But now, you know, I risked it a couple weeks ago when I mowed the yard, and boy, sure enough, it stirred up the symptoms again. It's that heavy breathing from using the mower in this tiny little yard. Doesn't matter. And so I have to avoid exertion. At least that's my excuse. The Homeowners Association, though, sent me a four separate notices with pictures. And we don't even have one of those really over-controlling HOAs. I don't even know what I pay my money for. We don't use the pool. We don't use the tennis courts. But I got one for the roof, which last week with that, or the other week with that big storm that I lost power for 3 days, blew off at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 more dozen shingles. So talked to the roof guy this morning. That's all getting taken care of. So I got one for that. I got one for the driveway, so I've got to pressure wash the driveway. Now, granted, I agree. I'd already done it though, like 3-4 years ago. I guess it's time. One to paint the outside trim, one to trim the hedges. Now, I don't know. You know, it was up to me. I would rock in the whole front yard. Just bring me a bunch of crush and run and do a Japanese themed design, you know, everything being Zen, Zen garden. Remember, I gave away a little Zen garden a while back. You can buy them and then add your own stones or crush up your own gravel. And yeah, so when the weather gets a little cooler, I'll get to some of those other projects. Other than that, the big main one, you know, the roofer, got that taken care of. So anyway, that's just, you know, summers are not pleasant. The heat is overwhelming. So I understand. And Miss Barbara, I understand also about, you know, all these projects around the house I'm supposed to do. I can't do those. You know, getting old is not pleasant. In my mind, I'm in my 30s or 40s. The body doesn't say so. All right, so she goes on to say, just couldn't miss the trivia challenge. So listen to little smarty pants Miss Barbara. She goes, abalone shell cabochon, helmet shell cameo, Yawa nut concretion, and ammonite fossil. 4 for 4. And then she says the Yawa nut did not come from the sea. Bingo. Got them all. Almost want to give it to her, but that would be unfair to others that didn't get theirs in on time either. So I won't. Petrified wood. I am going to look up that petrified wood number, and I am going to see what became of it. When it's not in the system, I don't know if it was because it was sold or if it was from a few weeks ago, then the memo is closed, it's given back to me, and it just won't show up in the system again. So I'll give you some information on that before the show is over on that. Take care and try to stay cool, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. So you would have won, the prize. It was only going to be, a 3-carat Russian demantoid with a horsetail inclusion right in the middle. But you got it in too late, Miss Barbara. So better luck next time. You know what? It's funny. I just brought that up. And of course, garnet being my birthstone, just yesterday, the Raven and I were talking, and she made sure I set one aside for her. I had actually gotten in a batch of Russian demantoids, and this is before doing this. It was when I was doing the live show. So it has been 7 or 8 years ago, and I picked one for myself, and of course, the Raven had to get in on one, and both have horsetail inclusions. Just some beautiful classic Russian, incredible green, round cut demantoids. And can't find them. Can't find them. But that can be sometimes a good thing, because remember, all these other things I've turned up and found, they were other items that I couldn't find. The Eudialyte box is by far the one that I opened it up, and it was like a real treasure chest. In it was, and I think George had gotten it, my really fine hiddenite, true hiddenite crystal, and other really fine things in this amazing Eudialyte box. Never had seen another box like it. And so when we had moved, it got misplaced, along with a stash of Raven's jewelry. She has so many different pieces. She really wasn't aware that she even missed out on the jewelry. It's like, oh, is that where that was? So, yeah. Which reminds me, because I know Miss Jan and Dennis watch, don't always send in comments, but they're watching. Miss Jan, I read your comment again from last week regarding, actually I have it right here. Oh, let's see, I think. Look at that, huh? I wonder if I might have a crystal cluster malachite. Okay, that was her first comment. Well, I am going to show you an amazing crystal cluster malachite. I've shown it before. I think everybody that had wanted one has gotten one. So when I show this, we'll mention it again, Miss Jan, and I'll give, let's give her a couple of days to purchase it if she wants. If not, then it'll be open and free to everyone else. It's a pseudomorph. So they're malachite crystals after azurite. In other words, the azurite was replaced by the malachite, because malachite doesn't form in that particular crystal system. And it is really unique. Now, if you're talking about those like amazing transparent green malachite crystals, like that one specimen I have that sold, I don't know if I have any others of those. I'll have to look. But the malachite piece, the pseudomorph, I have it right here too. Look at me. RI something else. Yeah, from the Sumed mine in Namibia that's been closed, and one of the greatest and most famous mines of all time. So then her other question was, even a small piece. Okay, also, I'm still waiting for another andradite faceted gemstone. So I had to think about that for a little bit when you had mentioned andradite, and I meant to address this last week with you, Miss Jen. So I got to thinking, andradite. Well, is that andradite as in a demantoid andradite? Or, you know, because just like grossular, you have several other family members, sabarite, hessonite, etc. Underneath grossular, well, underneath andradite, you can have some other family members as well. So it finally dawned on me what. First, here, let me tell the rest of the story first. So I was thinking, so I was thinking andradite as in Russian andradite, as in demantoid. And I was thinking, where would I might have one of those? Because, you know, if I go out in the market and just go buy one, I can get a good deal, get you a really great deal as well. But it's not the same as if I can come up with it from my own inventory. Definitely not the same. In other words, it'll be a lot less expensive if it's something I already have. And I got it. Then it hit me. I do have over a 1 carat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in the bedroom. I kid you not. Somewhere in the bedroom, I have an oval over 1 carat Russian demantoid. It flipped off the bed. I mean, I know the moment, and it just disappeared. Now, that bedroom needs vacuuming by now. Do you think I'm just going to go randomly vacuum it? No. You can definitely hear when you pick up something that big, as far as like a rock. You ladies know that, and men too. It makes this horrifying noise, and it gets beat around inside the vacuum cleaner. So I have not found this stone yet. It's been lost, days uncounted, and it's months since I've seen home. Let's see if anyone knows what song that is from. That line. One of my favorite old rock and roll bands, by the way. Anyway, I need to find that stone. So I was thinking, okay, well, that's where I can find Jan's andradite is if I really clean up the bedroom floor really well. And underneath the bed is probably a treasure trove. So, but then it dawned on me what you were really wanting. And it dawned on me because of another comment that someone made. You want one of the Japanese iridescent rainbow garnets that are faceted. Now that is a treasure. By far, that is so much more rare, stone for stone, than a Russian demantoid. Especially, you know, not only the crystals are way more rare, but the faceted stones. Probably my original number I had was probably more than anyone I know would have. So for you, Miss Jan, I might be able to part with one, and if I do, I'll make sure that it is earmarked specifically for you. So let me see what I have left on the Japanese faceted androdites. So because let's see, I lost the one I got. See, when you lose something, that's different than if you just want another one to buy or something like that. If you lose one and want to replace that, then, you know, I can feel for you. I like the part, we love you, and helping you move your closet to ours. So let's see if we can't find you an androdite. a Japanese androdite. So, hold on to that thought now that I know, and dawned on me exactly what you were talking about. I'll check. Okay, let's see. We go on to Harry in Pennsylvania. I have researched eBay because he was talking about needing a motor for his Graves machine, fasting machine, and I have a Graves fasting machine. Mine's just a little bit different model, and it's a left-handed model. So he's been looking for a 90-volt motor to replace it, and he said that Graves, the odor just has not been any help to him. So he's still on the prowl for that, and I won't use the word he used for the owner that ran off and left everybody in a lurch for parts. Thanks for that info there, Mr. Harry. Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. That was a very information-packed show. You need a generator. Yes, I do. I've been saying that for years, except I just don't want to go buy one new. I looked at them, but I am one of those that I can almost, because I've been in the buying and selling business office, and whether it's jewelry or antiques and a little bit of everything at one time or another, I just don't much like to pay retail. So if I can find something at a, neighbor's yard, a yard sale, whatever, cheaper, then I do that. And but a lot of times, something like generator, you want to make sure it starts first time out, so that might be worth getting brand new. I have to look at that. So Miss Cindy says, I love these trivia questions with identification of specimens. Trivia. All right. So garnet, almandine, she says, and I'll show you the stones again when we're done here. And then it was kind of like extra credit if you can figure out maybe where they were from. Torn between India and USA. Since you love Made in the USA, I'm going with USA. And the number 2, the second item was, or this is her answer, is Imperial Topaz from Brazil. A very good answer. I'm not going to give the answers away until we're looking at them again, just so everyone gets to hear what everyone else thought they might be. Hope I do better than last week. May the week ahead be a good one for all. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Yeah, since everybody missed it last week. Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello all. Great show. I like the story of you and the raven going into the mine and eluding whoever was looking for you. Constabulary is a good word. Oh, I do like that word. It sounds much better than redneck mountain sheriff. Luckily, though, I'm a good old boy who has spent many, many years in that county. Oh, see, I'm going to go into that slang just even starting to think about it. And I know all the people who have any influence in the town of Helen. And so I'm sure I could have talked my way out of him. I would have spun him a gold mining story that would have made the hair on the back of his neck stand up, and he would have been so mesmerized by my story, he would have just wanted to leave the area. And it had been all true. Tommy knockers. Oh, yeah. They're real. The real version of a Tommy knocker. Not a Stephen King version. Miss Barbara in Brooklyn. This is her note for this week. Hello, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Another delightful specimen show. Had fun shopping. Got the bright green pyromorphite this time around, and that sweet aragonite penetration twin. I was wondering, oh, yeah, fine, Miss Barbara. You wait until I really don't make anything off of that. Something so cool. Even in a perky box. You know that was old. But it would take someone like you that really understood the rarity of that penetration twin, the way that the aragonite was, and that form, that habit of the crystal form of the aragonite is like no other that really that I have seen. Now, aragonite has a lot of different habits. You know what? It is a polymorph to calcite. So, and we know calcite has upwards of 800 different habits in its morphology, in its crystal morphology. Crazy. Okay, so, and great job on that pyromorphite getting that. That's one of the nature's mineral specimens that the color is so inviting. It's just really, really attractive. It's good to scare the heck out of yourself now and then. I still do. Keeps you young. I've never been in a mine, but have experienced the Tommyknocker while diving in caves or wrecks. But wrecks are always shifting, but caves, it's almost like you can feel it. And hats off to you for being a diver. I think that's really cool. That's something I never have learned, and out of everything to learn, it's kind of like, well, you know, like skiing, water skiing, and snow skiing. Those are two sports. Oh, and I added a third one, surfing. Those are sports that look absolutely fun, a blast, something I'd want to do, but it's only if you already know how to do it and are at a level of achievement that you can make it look fun and exciting and all that. It's getting to that level of skill is when you run smack into a tree and die, or you, well, any number of things skiing behind a boat, depending on how tipsy the two people in the boat in front of you, you're supposed to have two, are, and depending on how they turn and where they sling you right up onto the beach, and who knows what happens to you from there. That kind of thing. It's those things, so it's getting to that level of skill that, you know, I don't want to go through, no. And same thing with surfing. Oh, good grief. How long does it take before you just ride the pipe or whatever they do? I think it's really cool, and be really cool to be inside the curl. You know, it looks really great on TV when they got the little GoPro on and are doing that. But again, it's getting to that level of skill that I don't want to go through. So the wreck diving, yeah, that's something that I think would make my heart pound. So she's been in a cave, and you can experience the same thing as long as you're inside of a mountain. And again, a true Tommyknocker is what the old Cornish miners called the sound that a mountain makes. It just literally groans in these most bizarre, out of this world kind of sound. And the Cornish and Welsh miners would take it as either a premonition of something really good going to happen or something really bad. So it's like, well, how do you know? You know, do you run screaming out of the, you know, head for the light at the end of the tunnel there, or stick around to hit the next big pocket of gold or something? So the sound of a mountain moving, not earthquake, just in general, just moving. Of course it's going to shift. You have all that rock. It's going to make noise. It's going to move enough to make a bizarre noise. I was able to get the pre-night cut gem. Wow, that was a great buy. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, wait, Anthony. Oh, man, Anthony, that's right. It's not Barbara. I was thinking, Barbara, you went rift diver? No, Anthony. Now, by your picture alone, Mr. Anthony, I saw you look like you would be a one of those really tough, bad, in a good way. I want to say that, you know, the bad A kind of guy that would do something like that. and go wreck diving. So yeah, you got the look. I like that look. I like that look you got. And that is would be certainly to me scarier to do than some of the other things I've done by way of mining. When you go underwater, you are dependent on oxygen, and a lot of things can go wrong. Of course, not that people have ran out of oxygen in a mine or anything, but yeah, that's pretty impressive in itself that you did that. Plus, the other thing, though, about wreck diving, ever since the Atocha was discovered and all that treasure, I mean, that'll get anybody's blood boiling to, if I was to learn scuba diving, it would be for one purpose only. And that would be to search for, and I'm not talking about a big find, one doubloon would be fine. Just any kind of, so I would have an underwater metal detector, and that's what I would do it for. My son got all licensed and all, and his fun thing that he did only a couple years ago was went to the Blue Hole off of Belize. And if you've never seen a picture of it, just look up Blue Hole Belize, and it is a sinkhole that is perfectly round and in the middle of a coral reef, and it goes way deep, and it just looks like a blue dark hole straight down, and that's pretty exciting thing to do. So he dove on that and went down 100, 150 feet, I think, which, is about the limit, I think, in most cases, unless you're on another level of skill. But, yeah, so, Mr. Anthony, that was pretty exciting to do that, I would say. And Miss Barbara, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if you were actually something, if you told me, I go wreck diving, I would absolutely believe it. You have that sense of adventure. I can just tell. So Mr. Anthony got the pre-night cut gem and the Spanish pyrite and sphalerite piece. That was really nice. The crystal cluster also of pyrite and sphalerite, and the crystal cluster, and a couple of the selenite spheres. Wow, those were the last of them. The last of the selenite spheres. So, and they were the least expensive that they've ever been. So well done. Now, on answering the trivia, and of course, Mr. Anthony knows a lot about stones, is a faceter, gem cutter. So he has almandine garnet from Arizona. Now, wow, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. That reminds me of a trivia question I might use. The second one he has as sphene or titanite from Madagascar. Eyes down, as always, Mr. Anthony says, because that's where the rocks and minerals are. So, all right, well, we'll see how he does there. And then, now we have Miss Barbara in Brooklyn. That's how I got confused. One was next to the other. Hello, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole rock family. Another delightful specimen show. Had fun shopping. Got the pyromorphite this time around that sweet aragonite penetration twin. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I remember the chilling sound, the earth. This is how I got the two confused, because I knew both referenced the caves. I remember the chilling sound the earth makes when you are inside it. As students, we explored a non-commercial cave in Pennsylvania. Those are the best. And those are where you can find, just some beautiful different cave formations. And yeah, those are fun. When, there's a whole, if you belong to a speleological society, and they have this whole secret system where you get the locations, and you have to get permission from these private caves that are only accessible from private lands. those are the really neat ones to go in, and they're dotted all over northwest Georgia due to the limestone formation that runs up from there all the way up into Tennessee, into Kentucky, Mammoth Cave system. It's all some of the same geology that produces the extreme number of caves in that entire area. Slithering through crevasses on our bellies with the weight of a hillside on our backs, we were glad nothing shifted at that moment to pin us in place. But huddled together in a wide spot, the earth crunched and moaned a bit. We decided that was the signal to return topside, and that was pretty much when the raven was ready to turn around, when she really did hear the mountain talking to her. As to the trivia, both clusters look like garnet. The dark red, almandine/pyro, and the golden hessonite. Some of our cutters would make some nice stones out of those parcels. Sorry about your storm experience. Guess the standby generator is going to have to take priority because of your health. I agree. Climate change is sadly real. We're stronger, more frequent storms in all our futures. We must adapt or suffer. Very true. Take care, try to keep cool, and see you all next week. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. We need to become nitrogen breathers, you know? You know why first thing they do and put a mask on you is because what we breathe is only 28% oxygen. 28%. So when you have a mask on you and you get 100% oxygen that you're breathing, that instantly is like a shot of adrenaline to the body compared to struggling to get 28%. So, you know, the majority of the rest of what we breathe is nitrogen. And too bad our body can't do anything much with it. But if there are ever any aliens that are nitrogen breathers, they come here and find our environment, yeah, I think they're going to stay. I probably would too. It'd be like having an oxygen mask on all the time. It really does make a difference. I, of course, have oxygen tanks, and so sometimes in the morning, in the evening, sometimes in the early evening, late evening, sometimes late morning, early afternoon. They even actually make little oxygen containers. I forget that there's some name to them, but because the shot of just 100% oxygen is a big difference. So I have access at any time to, I don't know, you do a 5 or 10 minute mask and breathe pure oxygen. It helps. Believe me. Mr. Travis in Indiana says, hello, Shawn, another great show. Thank you for showing my collection. He was the one, of course, with the little picture I showed. I love my P disc. That was that jade disc I showed you with the stand. The bracelet is an estate Russian chrome dioxide with zircon piece from your show, and it is resting on a large Mexican aragonite specimen from Chihuahua, also from your show. The other piece you pointed out is museum-grade pink scolecite from one of your shows. So you were one of the ones that got the scolecites? I brought in so many of those. If anybody is interested in a fine museum-quality scolecite, let me know. Let me know. I have a couple more I'm ready to release. And you could have a choice of one from like $300 or $400 upwards of one that is like $1,000. And if you want to get up to $1,000 ones, it would be one that would easily cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or more. This was one purchase. One of the probably smartest things, besides my 10 shares in Tesla I bought at $27 a share. Probably one of my best purchases I've ever made. It was a distressed dealer in Pakistani dealer dealing in the scolecites from Mumbai and India, and he needed money, and it was separate from putting together the container and all. It was a separate deal, and I took them all. And by far, it was one of the best buys I've ever made. I got to see pictures of each one beforehand. The pictures didn't even do them justice compared to when you actually see them in person. So now, Travis, I know that you got one. I know that Miss Gabby got one. And I'm not quite sure who got the couple of others that I might have offered. But again, like I said, I have a couple others I will be willing to sell. And if you want one that is finer than anything I've shown yet and want to upgrade, so Miss Gabby, if you want another one or know someone that might, let me know, and you can either sell yours to someone else, or you can get another one. It'll give me a reason to challenge shipping again. They love when I sell those scolopsites. So Mr. Travis says, thank you for showing my collection. The other piece was the museum grade pink scolopsite. Did you realize I'm lucky? Yeah, this is where it came up. Did you realize I'm lucky to have a faceted iridescent Japanese rainbow androdite? I must have picked that one up in one of your show and go extravaganzas. You must have picked it up when I lost my mind. Wow. Okay. Well, we can put you together with Jan, because I know Jan wants one, and there's just not that many to go around. If you try to find one faceted in the market, wow. Good luck finding one, and then be stunned at the price. Trivia, another tough one this week. The red stones, my initial thought was tourmaline, but after you added the larger stone, it did not look like tourmaline. Looks like garnet to me, possibly almandine, he says. You think? Number 2, the yellow stones. These look a lot like some of the golden beryl I have. I have a Crabtree Mine golden beryl with quartz and feldspar, shoral length specimen that was part of Shawn's rare collection. Given Crabtree material is rare, I'd say the beryl is from Madagascar. Thanks again. Have a great week. Travis in Indiana. Mr. Travis, I know that golden beryl specimen that you have. That is so rare and so fine. Good to know that you have that. I didn't know where that one went to. I just know it moved. Okay, so there we have it. All right. Now, before we show you the gift and the winner, let me show you the items. So let's take a look at the 2 pieces that we were, that the challenge was. Okay, so here is what we had last week, and I showed you. So here is, you can see these yellow stones, and I can tell you this, they have amazing clarity to some of these. When I sent them to cutters, I got back stunning stones. And then, of course, they don't cut anything that, won't cut a stone. So the ones that they cut were very clean. You can see the beautiful mix of different colors. Then here is the red stones. So as we look at these, you can see the colors in them. And then here is the one that he referenced. Let's see, what did I do with that? Oh, here it is. I had it set aside already. All right, so here, let's take a look. All right, so this is the one he said looked a little different when he was thinking tourmaline. And this one is in that parcel. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, so in looking at these, if you're trying to determine what they are and you have no real idea, but let's say you have only a couple crude tools. Well, one of them needs to always be a magnet. So let's do this. Let's see what happens when we put a magnet. Wow, look at that. It completely picks them up. And this is the N52 neodymium magnet that the official magnetism of gemstones is graded by. All right, so looking at them, the color, the magnetism, absolutely correct. If you said almandine garnet, you are right. You are right. And the origin of these, not exactly 100% certain, but I would say they are probably Orissa, India. Now, they are, a lot of these are just absolutely beautiful facet grade, put my magnet up there, facet grade material. And they tumble really well also. Look at the colors in that. Look at some of the beautiful colors. Now, this one, yes, so, does look different. Now let me show you. If you're using a magnet and you saw a total pickup response with those others, well, let's try it with this one, all right? Well, look at this. Okay, so this magnet, if those others were the exact same composition with that flat space, this magnet could easily pick up that stone. But what we get, instead of what's called a pickup response, we get a drag response. In other words, it will, well, we'll just show you. It will drag across something without, there we go. See, you can drag it across. So that's called a drag response versus a pickup response. What does that tell you? Well, it tells me that there's a little bit less iron in the almandine. If you have less iron in almandine, and what does this color look like? You have pyrope. You have pyrope and almandine together make what? Rhodolite garnet. And does that not look like rhodolite? That has exactly the color rhodolite is supposed to look like. Now, we get over to this batch, and you see how these edges are all a little frosted looking? You know what that's from? The edges of these stones. Yeah, there's some of my goop. The edges of these stones are frosted because it's called parcel wear. These stones have been in a bag for so long, remember, same harnesses will scratch each other, that they basically rubbed against each other, the edges, enough to cause a little bit of a frosted abrasion look. If you actually tumbled these on a high grit or a polish, it would actually look beautiful because it would remove, still give you that rough look, but it would remove all those little frosted edges. So it would really, really brighten those up, just to let you know if you're a tumbler and wanted to have some fun just tumbling them. Now, look at that. Some of these, like that, that's one of the rarest, I can't believe that's even in that parcel. So these aren't, well, you'll just have to wait and see. All right, one of the rarest, and if you said garnet, you'd be right. These are garnet. They are Tanzanian hessonite garnet, and a garnet, a grossular, it's a grossular garnet, hessonite belonging to grossular, without any other interfering impurities, will look completely clear. Look at that. That's actually facet grade, and it is called leuco garnet when you have a clear white garnet. Wow, look at that. That is, you can really see the color. That only has a faint tint. That one, I think, is going to go in my personal collection. Look at the clarity of that. That is facet grade. I didn't even know I had something like that. I would love, it's my birthstone, a faceted leuco garnet. Very cool. Might have to set that aside for me. Yep, Tanzanian facet grade to many of these, and you can see that a lot of these are pretty decent size and have all the range of colors that the hessonite garnet will have. All right, so those are the answers. Making, let's see, the winner. Making the winner. You know, let's see, let me just check to make sure. Yep. There was only one winner this week. And so, fate corrected itself because Miss Barbara didn't win last week because she was a little late, but she won this week. Miss Barbara, you are the winner and the only one to get them right, and very good. So let me check here what you had. Did you have Travis? You did well. Everybody did really well. Of course, I knew it'd be a little difficult on the. Yes, that is it. Yes. Okay, so wait, one more second. Let me just look at this. The dark red, almond pipe, and the golden heston. Yep. You didn't quite get the origins, but you didn't need to. That was just for extra credit. You're the only one that got it right. Let's show you what you have won. Oh, it's already up there. There it is. There's your win. Oh, too many cameras around here. All right, look at this. Look at this. Okay, I had given one of these away before, and this is how weird, well, the magic of this show. The person I actually gave one of these to owned a burro. She actually had her own pet burro, and I give her a burro. That was just too bizarre. So many things like that have happened in this show. And the other one I think about is George the geologist, who I gave him an ironstone carved bear. He lives on Black Bear Road in Mississippi. Just all way too cool. Look at this. This is, of course, it's like resin, the donkeys, and this is straight from Colombia. And if you have been watching me for any extended length of time, I used to specialize in Colombian emeralds in particular. And so this, believe it or not, let me show you. All right, so I added with some of that sticky goop, so you can remove these, but they are part of it. The rest of these are well glued down. But these, they just are on the goop because I thought that would look really good, like there was gold with those emeralds. But let me show you. Now, there are some, probably quartz, maybe some. It's gold. Those are gold nuggets, big ones. There's no, this is a brave donkey. And there's little pyrite. Look at the little pyrites all mixed in on this. So, but wait, hold on. There's a stone on here that I almost pulled it off. Yeah, let me see. Here's one. Look at this one right here. Yeah, look at that one. That one right there. So you can tell with the black, the carbon, and by the crystal system, look at that it is an emerald. And I was amazed because it actually has stunning clarity. So when you get that at home, check that one out really well. And then there is another one that, it's actually up here underneath the gold nugget. That right there, let me peel these back. It has, look at that. I'm not even going further because then I'm going to take it off and keep it. It's a really nice little cluster of emerald crystals is what it looks like to me. So anyway, here's just a fun, neat mix of goodies, and I thought it might be appropriate with your collection from all over. Congratulations to you, Miss Barbara. Okay, so let me put that up, tuck away everything else, and we'll be right back with the start of the show. Look at this. Now, this is something I actually, out of all those items over 6 years, I really have never showed this. I did not tumble this, but when I was at the rock shop working there at 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, this is the kind of things I would tumble. He had massive tumblers at the William Harris rock shop. he had actually learned from Henry Graves himself, and he's the one that taught me fasting. So I learned for one step from Henry Graves himself. And all I got when I bought my fasting machine was one lesson. I went over to his house. He cut one stone with me together, and that was it. And the rest I was on my own. That was at 15 for fasting. But what he would do, these big crystals and whatnot, we would put them in these big octagonal tumbling barrels. And by big, I'm talking about like the inside of the barrel itself would be like 2 feet across. 2 feet across. So he would tumble these huge pieces. And so that's how something like this. So what this was, you can see it was a 6-sided crystal. And they call this chevron amethyst because of the angles. When you get these V-shaped angles are like the chevron, not only like the gas station, but the chevrons on a sergeant's uniform or private, you know, that the shape of the insignia for the rank. So you can see, look at how cool this is. So this, now I just have it as African. I could probably say, you know, as I was trying to remember where material like this came from more specifically, there are several places in Africa that produce some chevron amethyst. So I couldn't say specifically. I mean, it could be Zambian kind of thing, but just not sure. So Africa is just going to have to do it for you from there. But it's really beautiful, and it feels so soft and energetic. It's a well, it's amethyst. And I would not doubt it if there was some other mineralization. Look at the crystallization in here. And, you know, in amethyst, there can be all kinds of goodies. Let me actually see something here for a moment. I just put my arm in the goop. That's why I couldn't stand when we used goop on the set. But it's one of those necessary evils. And it's an evil right now. All right, let me show you. Let me see. Okay. Whoa, look at that purple. That is why that color was reserved for royalty for a long time. No one else could wear the color purple. It's just such a pleasing color, and I think it is the most popular color for popularity. If people say, what is your favorite color? I know that purple is my favorite color, and I don't know, it's just something very soothing about it. Okay, so I only have the one. I'm only going to have the one, and that's going to be it. But if you want it, this happens to be a really nice one. You can get really junky ones. They can look, you know, be the same size or whatever, but look at the base. It just won't have as much pop. So price on this guy is still very inexpensive. And hold on. Okay, yep. Here we go. How about this? $12. $12. Can't go wrong. All right, let me show you. And this is going to relate to the trivia. Item number 1082922. Yep. If you didn't notice this before, you're going to notice it now because of, hold on, all right. All right, now I'm just gonna put that rough up there for a moment that you saw before. And then, all right, whoops. Okay, so here is the rough that we were looking at, right? And you see what I mean by those frosted edges? That is all from parcelware. Now, I wanted to, there's that Luco garnet. Now, this parcel is not going to be for sale, but there's some things I want to tell you about it. Okay, all those frosted edges, you can see there on the actual edges themselves. Imagine if these were faceted, what they would look like over a period of time. I happen to know how far back this material goes, and I can trace it to being mined in the 90s or earlier. So I know it goes back that far or even earlier. Now, I'm showing you this as a lesson because I'm never going to be able to show you a parcel of faceted stones with wear like that because that would be a huge mistake on my part. But I know people that have inherited collections that toted them around for decades, and all of the faceted material in it needs to be repolished because all of it, including really nice stones, had partial wear on the facet edges. So they, would be 200, 300, 400, 500 stones in these parcels, and every single one of them would be scratched like that, would be abraded because of them rubbing against each other. That's why you don't put a whole bunch in a parcel like that and then, tote them around for decades. When it's like this, if it's rough, fine. You're either going to cut it or redo it. If you actually put these in, just like I said, just tumble them in a polish and take that edge off, these would just look gorgeous as rough stones. Now, here, if you tumble them all the way and pick out the darker colors, this is what you get. Here we go. There is the graphic to the item you are looking at now. This is a incredible higher end cherry picked. Yes, I'm going to admit I cherry picked these stones and I tumbled them, and this is what they can look like. Now, in Hessonite, this is a wonderful scale of the different colors. You can see they all are even going up to the really higher, more expensive end of the dark color range. These are all completely facettable. 20 carats total weight, 11 stones. So they're going to average tumbled almost 2 carats. So remember, when you tumble them, you're basically preforming them. You're putting them in a condition where it's easy to be able to figure out how to facet them. On these other rough stones, it's a lot more difficult to look into them to see how you want to orient them. But when they're already tumbled like this, it's easy to go ahead and cut them from that, or just leave them in their tumbled form. I have these priced ridiculously inexpensive. 20 carats, quality like this, Tanzanian Hessonite, and I tumbled them. I tumbled them myself. So that's got to be worth something, right? $28. $28 on that parcel. So it's just this parcel. So let me actually remove these. So $28 for the whole parcel. And that's a deal. That is a deal. Now, let me put those there. Okay. Now, I am going to segue into this next item that is relative to it. Item number 1127823. Okay, this gives everyone a chance. There are 9 parcels available. Yes, I went and I got into my Hessonite garnet collection. Look at this. Look at this. Now, here I'm just showing you. I'm not going to take these out. You've already seen that one parcel, which is the same parcel. There was nothing except that one Leuco garnet I noticed in there. But there can be Leuco garnets in these too. I did not go through these. And, on my blessed mother and father's grave, I can say that. I don't have time to do that kind of stuff. The Leuco garnets, I picked out some from another parcel many years ago. It's funny because Miss Barbara nailed it on the head. She said that she knew some people that would love to be able to cut some stones from this material. She said she just recognized it as cuttable straight away, as facet grade. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, not all, but in every one of these parcels there is definitely facet grade Hessonite garnet, 100 carat parcels. So just to show you quickly going through these, look at how much 100 carats is. That is a lot of garnet. And who knows what you can get. If you get a Leuco garnet in there and get a stone out of it, one Leuco garnet can be worth, well, $100 in itself. Not that these are $100, though they should be. It should be as rough. If you try to find this hessonite, Tanzanian hessonite, if you're a faceter and you go to these websites that sell cutting rough, yeah, you think that you'd get that entire bag for only $100? Not a chance. Not a chance. It would be well in excess of that. Probably $2 or $3 a carat. $1 a carat would be crazy. But what's really crazy, oh, by the way, like, look at the clarity of some of these. Look at that. I mean, you know, look, some even look a little pinkish kind of thing. I can see that. Who said imperial topaz? That was a wonderful, wonderful choice. Tanzanian hessonite, who's going to think about that? Imperial topaz comes to mind much easier for the look. And it's just that the crystal system isn't quite what you would see through this quantity. So yes, I have 9. If you want to buy more than 1, you know, let's just kind of keep a limit of 2 to a person until we see how many. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that price. That's why I'm dragging out my my presentation here, because as I look at these and look at how fine, and what a pile of that, you know, that is treasure. That is treasure. And you know, I found that entire bag of hessonite. I hate to say that, but I did. Like I said, looking around, moving around the house, I told you I'd find stuff that I hadn't seen before, and this was one of those things. Okay, so 9 parcels. Here we go. 100 carats. Let's do this. Well, okay. $33 a parcel. That's 33 cents a carat. Right? I think so. All that. So if you cut one hessonite stone, you know, wow, you have your money. If you get a Leuco garnet, you have, wow, look at that, look at that. I mean, it just feels so good. Almost like my amethyst story about my buddy with the faceted amethyst. I'll wait and save that story. After a while, I'll tell it again. It's an amazing, amazing story. Oh, yes, I know those of you, if you hear the story, you'll never forget it. I know I shouldn't just set you up and tease you and not tell you the story, but I'll save it for another day. All right. If you can, you know, limit yourself to a couple. If we sell out of all those, guess what? I have some more. Yes, it was a big bag of hessonite, but not a lot more. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I have, you know, 500-600 carats more. And people are saying, maybe you have only 500 or 600 more carats. Well, when you're someone like me who's been collecting these since 11 years old, collecting everything, rocks and minerals, and so over 51 years of collecting, yes, you're going to have stuff that, you know, you just really forgot about, don't know how you got it, all these other things. And this is a special collection. I remember I had found and had a different batch that I cut, and they cut beautifully. I sent them off, had them cut. This was not even from that parcel. I would have sent all of these to have them cut as well. This was just a kind of a new discovery there. So, yeah, take advantage there. Okay, now, let's see. Do you have this one in Asif 112 8223? Okay. Next, take a look at this. Oh yeah, only the eclectic show of gem collectors with Shawn will go from something really cool like that to something really cool like this. Oh yeah, look at that. And this has not been sawed across the bottom. That's a natural bottom. Look at how beautiful that sits and displays on its own. Arkansas quartz. Arkansas quartz. This is the made in the USA. And yes, I do like made in the USA items. As Cindy pointed out in her thinking about the garnet, whether it was from USA. You know, there are some really fine garnets that I've found up in the Nantahala forest, just not that big. In the creek, I panned down to, that would cut maybe 10-point garnets, really, really fine. Rhodolites, the creek is full of them. I'm going to take Dave up there sometime. We're going to go. Actually, I was going to say, no. We were all supposed to go and shoot some mining shows. I would love to do some mining shows, and that way I could take you to the ruby mine I reference all the time, the ruby mine shaft, and that would be really exciting. We could bring back some chrysotile. We could bring back all kinds of neat things. And you know, it's so cool when you know where there's a mine from let's see, about 110 years old, and you go to it and there's not a single piece of foreign trash, there's not a single bit of graffiti, there's not one footprint, there's not one sign of any human disturbance. You know, like kids hanging out drinking beers or anything like that. No one knows where this place is, except I do. And you have to cross a creek. You have to, you know, and when you get there, it is so serene. You have an incredible view. And then you have the energy from actually being in a place that was worked actively and for ruby, and you can actually dig and bring back. I've showed you the chrysotile serpentine from there. It's so exciting to be able to mine and bring out your own items. And I wanted to do several shows. And yes, let's do it. Chunky Gal is right around the corner.
Chunky Gal.
Chunky, exactly. Yeah, I told you the real story how Chunky Gal got its name, right? Chunky Gal, I'll tell it again for those since I brought it up that don't know. Chunky Gal, of course, a lot of you have seen the ruby in the smaragdite, and the Chunky Gal deposit is actually right around the mountain corner, so to speak. Sits at 4,100 foot elevation. Cool, year round, top of the mountain. The wind is blowing. Beautiful place to go, especially towards fall. Fall will be here in no time. And it's actually when we had the total eclipse that was in the zone of the total eclipse. So I went up to Chunky Gal and I had the most serene, peaceful place and watched the whole world turn dark at 2 in the afternoon, and that was magical in itself. So Chunky Gal. So as the story goes, Chunky Gal, of course, Nantahala Forest, of course, Nantahala is a Cherokee word. Cherokee, it was part of the Cherokee Nation. Remember, a lot of you, if you don't know your history, you need to. The Cherokee Nation was a legally, by treaty, given and created a country. It was a country that the Cherokee Indians, it was theirs. It just happened to be that there was the largest deposit of gold in the eastern United States within the Cherokee Nation boundary. And that in 1828 is what brought the nation down. Well, so, there were, of course, the Cherokees mingling and with the homesteaders, with the farmers, with the settlers. And there happened to be, now, you know, this is just a story, so I'm just repeating it, and, you know, there's no incrimination of anybody here. This is just repeating Southern lore. There was a farmer that hadn't had the best luck. I think it kind of goes with best look, Freudian slip there. hadn't had the best luck in finding a mate, a woman to share his life with in a normal settler. But what he did find was now I'm going to use this word because it was the word used at the time, a Cherokee squaw, a Cherokee lady that was part of the tribe, and the tribe wouldn't let her mingle, of course, with the white man. So what did they do? They ran off together, and she was, I'm going to use the word portly. She was she was, well, chunky. And the farmer, who had never had any luck because maybe of his looks, he ran off with the chunky gal squaw, and they went up and over and across the mountain. And right there is the pass where Highway 64 goes. So it's right off of Highway 64. So all of that, to every bit of lore or legend, there's always some truth. There's always a basis of truth to these stories. And everything actually fits together. So
she never made it through that mountain, though. That chunky gal's still there.
I think he had
up and through around anything.
That's right. I think they had to probably put her on a donkey, a miner's donkey, and get her up and over the mountain. But they did, and hence was born the chunky gal. But okay, so do I say chunky gal? If you Google chunky gal, you find it. If you Google the actual other name they call the mountain, it's called Corundum Hill. And I normally don't give that away because that's more the way that some people like to find the location from. But to me, I stick with what the native people and the settlers call the mountain. And that's how it's got its name. If it is true, which I tend to believe it is, I'd like to know where they went. Where'd they go? Who's the family, They got a mountain.
They didn't make it through.
They didn't make it. Maybe not. Maybe it was like a Donner's Pass kind of thing. I was going to say she fed everybody but no. Asif, you're going to get me in trouble. You are going to get me in trouble. All right, check this out. All right, so this has nothing to do with Chunky Gal or the story, but it's a beautiful crystal. And let me show you, here's what's really neat on this, is when you get these little additional small crystals and that are on the face. Look at these, all right? So you can see them when you turn it to the side, and you can see them protruding quite nicely. Look at these. And all these faces are natural, so none of them have been polished. Look at those. Oh, look at that iris right there in that one crystal. Wow. That's kind of stands out. And then look down here. Look at that. You have another additional crystal. And look at that one. That's a really nice one. And this is just really large. This is the kind of material, if you wanted to facet a big, nice, clean quartz crystal out of it, you could, but this is way, look at that one, way too cool as a specimen to do that with. You can find worse condition crystals that are clean to cut. So this makes an incredible paperweight for an office. Just a wonderful addition. You don't even have to like rocks and minerals to give something like this as a gift to someone, because there's not a person I know or don't know that wouldn't look at that and say, that's really cool, what is it, or whatever. No matter what whether they know what it is or not, they would think it's really cool and interesting. Now, what I should have brought, but then I would get all lost in time, is my voltmeter, because guess what? If I squeeze on this, it's called piezoelectric, meaning the word pressed. When I press on this, it will generate electricity. It's also pyroelectric. Heat or cooling it produces voltage. And it is true. We have done it right here on the show before. We have taken tourmaline measurements and quartz measurements, and it absolutely produces and registers enough. I have a nice quality voltmeter, and registers the voltmeter. It's enough. And you let go, and the voltage drops. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Quartz, remember, that is what started the transistor radio, was quartz crystals. One of the most important minerals of our time, and still is. Simple chemical composition, SiO2, silicon dioxide. That's it. Now, this is quartz. It's amethyst. All it is the addition of impurities that make it purple. So what is that called? That's allochromatic. In other words, in its purest state, it is clear and colorless. But when you add elemental impurities to it and it becomes another color, then that gem or mineral is called an allochromatic mineral, meaning it gets its color from not its base composition, which is only silicon dioxide, but from outside impurities. Price on this guy, you're going to love this as well. If you went out and you found something like this at a mine, what they would charge you for it, $48 on this, only $48. And aesthetics counts for a lot in the world of a quartz crystal. And aesthetics meaning this right here. If it was just that quartz crystal, okay, that's all right, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Look how aesthetically the addition of one other crystal makes in the overall look. That is where it adds the value to it. And is that could be another, look out for all kinds of things. There could be water bubbles. Look at all these little crystals. Just fascinating. Fascinating. Great stuff right there. Yep, for only $48. All right. Now, since I am going to segue right into another item here, because we just mentioned it, 112-8323. 112-8323. What do we got? We have one of the largest tourmaline in the form of shoral tourmaline you have ever seen. Look at the size of this. Now, I'll remove that backdrop in a moment. Okay, now I was looking to see if there was a certain angle that this would sit at, but no. You could easily saw the base off, but I didn't want to touch this. Here's the cool thing about this. Okay, when you see this, that is where another tourmaline crystal laid up against there. Now, what happens is there isn't a molecular bond between this crystal and this one. So they didn't form together like these two. So, I can't pull this crystal off. That molecules bonded together in the growth of it. But when this grew and this one, they did not bond together. So this crystal just came out separate when it was mined. Look at this. Look at this classic termination. You have the three sides, and then look, it looks like a trillion from above, which is the way it would look. And then this would be curved as well if it didn't have this other crystal growth. Now, it looks like it went up above that. Could you imagine what that would look like as a crystal cluster to have a couple of these together? Let me pull this back so you get the full look. Wow, look at that. Look at the weight. Okay, 1,730 grams. Remember, 454 grams to a pound. That means this is around a 4-pounder. Yeah, that's a lot of shoral tourmaline. Now remember before, one time when I cut a base on one, I cut it and I took a couple slices off, and from the base I created platforms or bases for other crystals to sit on. So instead of like a crystal on a flat wood base, it was a crystal on a shore tourmaline base. Now, you could easily put something to prop this up, because look at this. Right back here, if you had just another rock to prop it up like that, what an amazing display. It has very attractive, look at this. Okay, so instead of this being flat and flat meeting at one corner, you have an additional beveled facet, tell I'm a gem cutter, crystal face there. That adds, again, that aesthetic value to it. And then, of course, coming over here, I think this is actually the really attractive side to it. So this is, I think, the largest one I have ever offered. One stunning, amazing, huge, and a whole lot of other adjectives and adverbs it takes to describe that. Look at that. That's impressive. That is impressive. So I'm going to sit it right there while I look at the price. And this one, it is priced to sell. Only $118 on that. $118. That is it. All right. It's going to take me a minute. Let me clean up a couple things, and I'll be right back. Now, we are going to give Miss Jan an opportunity if this malachite would work for her on what she's looking for. And after a couple of days, if she doesn't take advantage of it, then it's open to anyone. Now, look at this. Okay, looking at it like this, you may not really see all the goodies that are actually here. If we turn this on its side, then you can see the crystal shapes. Now, if you've never seen any malachite that ever looked like that before, that's because you haven't. Malachite doesn't form in this crystal system. Now, malachite and azurite are almost identical to each other. They're both copper carbonates. But azurite forms a complete different crystal system, and it is the crystal's shape of azurite you're looking at, but the mineral is malachite. There's not even a trace of azurite left. So there's a complete change, a complete replacement. Kind of spooky, and reminds me of a movie back from the 70s where they were in an egg. What was the name of that movie? And had all kinds of big actors in it, but people fell asleep. When they fell asleep, they woke up and they were someone different. Well, in this case, it takes a little longer than overnight, but you can find some of these where just it's halfway through, where the replacement is, only got interrupted, and only a portion of the crystal is morphed to malachite. You never see it the other way. You never see malachite being replaced by azurite. It is always the poor azurite that has to give up its crystalline life to the azurite-eating morphology of malachite. Boy, I can make a simple little mineral specimen sound like a horror movie. Look at this. So, okay, you have some other, I do not see a speck of blue, but I see lots of attractive crystals of malachite that you would never see in this form. So, there's one specimen, if it will work. I have it at especially from the Sumed mine in Namibia, which was and has been closed for some time, but it has produced some of the world's finest specimens of many different minerals, malachite being one of them. This, I have it at a discounted opportunity of only $68. Only $68 on that one. Take advantage of it while you can. If that will work for you, Miss Jan, that's fine. If you're looking still for one of those fibrous malachites, let me know. All right, let's look at, I have a couple special items here. 111.9923. No, 111.6923. And this is, oh boy, a beauty. All right, let me show you. It is my birthstone. And yes, you're going to get a chance, those of you, if you do not have your Japanese rainbow garnet yet, well, you need to get in on this deal while you can. We'll clean that table off. Beautiful job. Look at this. Look at this crystal. And it has beautiful, large faces. Look at that. And completely natural. Completely natural. This was only a small vein that was discovered above the entrance to a quite unusual magnetite mine. And it was around 9 yards long, like 3 yards high, 6 yards deep. Not large at all, but produced some stunning world-class andradite crystals. And then the town that it was located in, so many people were flocking to that site that it was closed, and they started jailing people. Boy, I tell you what, I'd risk it too to get in on mining this kind of material. Look at that, those golden edges to that crystal. And well, golden from one angle can be a completely different color from another, and just beautiful. This one is large, 6.42 carat. Price on this guy, I am at, well, you know what? Only $64. Only $64. $10 a carat. Go online and see what you can find, and look at how much something like that would be, and you will make your purchase, because I already have looked. I was curious. There isn't really anything even like that available. Okay, let me take you to something else here. 112.8023. I have another choice, and this is a 6.04 carat. Now, let's compare the two. Look at this. Now, this is more of a little bit of a dodecahedron shape. And again, you know, when you go online and look, anything over 1 carat is considered large. So these crystals are monstrous in the world of the Japanese androdites. Look at those faces, and wow. Okay, so when you see like the backside like that, look at the color there. That is where the crystal was attached to. It would be like quartz crystals across a face of a, like a plate of crystals. And each one, if you broke off each one, that's what you would end up looking like. So that's where it was like attached to the matrix. But what's neat is that all those little, like that, all those little faces can produce a wonderful iridescent glow. And this has some really clean, sharp looks. And, you know, the sunlight's going to give it one look. Every different angle matters. You may not think that there's a big flash effect until all of a sudden you turn it at a particular angle, and, you know, boom, it can be there. Actually, I just saw a flash coming from that one. Sometimes it's, look at the corner of that. Look at the red. Look at see the pink right on the corner? That's what I'm talking about. You can search and search, and then all of a sudden you hit just the right angle, and it's there. Price on this guy, let's do this, $58. $58. If you only have one of these, I'd suggest getting another one. If I'm offering them, you need to be buying them. 112-7923. 112-7923. Here is one of the largest I've ever offered in a single crystal. It is exactly 7 carats. This has never been shown, never seen, and let's look at it. Let's look at a 7-carater. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, ones this large can easily be faceted. And, oh, look at the colors. Look at the colors. Oh, my. You know, opal has always been my favorite stone. It's my mom's and my son's birthstone, and it still is. But when I see, and then garnet is my birthstone. So when I see garnet looking like opal, that's the best of both worlds. Oh, look at this. Look at that face. And then, hey, let me get my pointer out. Look at this upper corner up here that is radiating from some color from underneath somewhere. And then look at that. That's like a copper color face. Ah, look at that. Oh, my. Wow. Look at the blue. What does this one do? 7 carats. Wow, look at the colors. You can see the colors actually in layers almost. Wow, see, look at there's green there. Wow, that's a pinkish copper color. What a wonderful gem. And this, if you actually wanted to facet it, it would lend itself to faceting a large stone from it. And look at how even that is attractive. Let's just put that right. Whoa, look at that. Look, did you see those colors? Sometimes you can't find them again. You get a glimpse of them, and then they are gone. Let me tuck that away. Okay, let me give, ooh, wow. Even the reflection in the mirror has produced some beautiful looks to it. All right, price on this guy, $77. That's it. That's only $11 a carat. Look at that color. Huh. Wow, $77. The Coast Mine. And again, there's not going to be any more in the market. What is in the market now is it. That is it. There will not be any more. Except for, you know, I have probably one of the largest stashes of them of anyone I know. Or of anyone, period, whether I know them or not. I know how much material is out there, and when I, again, made a wise purchase some time ago on this material, and am very glad that I did. I am not charging what the material actually is going for. I am charging something so far below that level, but I want all of you to have an opportunity to get something like this. Okay, let's check and see. Look at that. Whoa, look at that. That is, shows you right there. Remember, I said we can tell how to tell the difference between an andradite and, remember, androdites can be green, and of course the demantoids, and guess what? Also savarite, the grossular family, right, can be green. So what if you have 2 green garnets and you want to know which is which? Or what if you have a crystal of andradite? You can know it's garnet. You're not really sure. You know it's not almandine. You're trying to figure out what it is. Well, okay, so here is a piece. Look at that. That was just a random piece I grabbed. Look at the quality of that. Nice, facet, great. All right, so there we have our two different types of garnet. We have andradite and we have grossular in the form of hessonite. Boom, wow, that is not a drag. That is what's called a pickup response. Oh, there we go. Right there. High iron content. Look at that. That is nothing. Just as it should be. That is how you tell with a simple magnet. And I highly recommend getting the neodymium magnets. The N52 is the official one they use for doing the magnetism chart. So there's a chart that's been done, and you can look on that chart for the different responses and what causes those responses. Let's say you have a lovely, look at that, lovely peridot, and lovely indeed. Well, peridot is, for the most part, magnesium silicate, Mg2 SiO4. But it also belongs to a family where there's phaolite, and peridot is often also referred to as forsterite. Well, phaolite is made up of iron silicate instead of magnesium. But there can be some iron impurities. If you have a peridot and you want to know whether it's like a genuine peridot or is it a tourmaline, it's a greenstone and you're just not sure what it is. Well, there's a way you can help figure it out. Look at that. Look at that. That is called a drag response. Doesn't quite pick it up, but it sure will drag it all around. That would tell me right away that I'm looking at genuine peridot. That's a beautiful cut on that. Why don't I have that for sale? Do I need to recut it? I don't know. I'll have to look. That's just something I had. All right, look at that. So, peridot responds, and I love this. I love that particular crystal at 7 carats. It just beautiful gem. All right, next item. Let me show you. Oh boy, this. Okay, 112 7723. 112 7723. I did a trivia question. Oh, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago. It was on. Okay, the story on this goes way back. There was a. I'm going to say it was definitely a Georgian era piece. It was an early 1800s ring, and the ring was so worn out, there was no other life to it. Let me show you one of the early techniques, and this was in that ring. There was 3 of them. The one I gave as a trivia gift for the person that got closest to guessing what the weight was of the stone in the encased foil back. This is the way they, took certain diamonds and got brilliance out of them. They would back them in foil. And there's a little lead solder you can see there, but what you see behind that is foil. So, I had, let me give you the item number on this. It is 112-7723. All right. Look at the size of this. This is early 1800s, maybe even 1700s. It goes way back. You can see it's faceted. Look at that. It's faceted. So everyone was guessing particular weights in the 20-point range and whatnot. I actually had a live weighing situation. I took it out of the foil and weighed it. When I took it out of the foil, I was amazed. Everyone was amazed. It was a sliver. It was so thin, I think it only had one side to it. It weighed only a total of 7 points. It weighed a total of 7 points. This probably is in that same range. There was the back was completely flat. So in other words, there was no reflection back out of it. It was a window, the entire piece. So what this was either a cleaved chip off of another diamond, or it was found as a little sliver. And even back then, how did they even put facets on it and polish? It's amazing, but they did it. All right, here's what they had to do. The foil would get water behind it and create moisture that would cut down on the brilliance. The foil would also, because it's not just like aluminum foil, aluminum was actually more than gold. At one point, they didn't figure out how to smelt aluminum from bauxite. So there was no aluminum, basically. There was some, but it was extremely expensive. So the foil was made up of different metals, and they would oxidize. So initially they start off shiny white, but over time, and not a whole lot of time, they would oxidize. So guess what? Every ring had to be serviced. The jeweler would have to take the stone out and put new foil on the back, resolder it to the piece. And this was something that had, wealthy people, of course it would be wealthy people, that they would do. That was standard practice. You can see a thin little lip around the edge. You can even see a little bit of a silver foil looking color. So this stone was actually a clearish, the other one, a clearish kind of color tone. It wasn't what you're seeing now, which is like a champagne brownish. If I took that out of there, it wouldn't even be a millimeter thick. It would be maybe half a millimeter thick, and it would probably weigh in 7 to 10 point range. But what this is old. This is so very old. It can still be lead soldered onto something. And you have a piece of history right here. And I'm willing to sell one of these. No one else will ever be able to offer you this opportunity. You remember the other one, if you've been watching the show, which I'm sure many of you do remember, because there was a lot of trivia envy for the winner. I think actually Brad was the one that was closest to the weight, but no one got anywhere near the seven points. So I don't know the exact weight. I'm going to say anywhere, probably no more than 10 points. So somewhere in that range. It is a piece of history. If this could talk and tell you everything it has seen and done, and wow, even where it was mined. Most likely it was mined in India, because remember, the African diamond mines weren't even discovered until the late 1800s. There was no African diamond. So where do they come from? Well, Brazil, but mostly from India. The very famous, Golconda diamond mines there, producing many of the world's diamonds. The Hope diamond coming from India. So the history, wow, or royalty, wealthy people would have had to own that. something like that, because again, it needed servicing every year. You couldn't just leave it like that. You had to get it all beautified again. Price on this, I have no idea of the actual value, but I know if I tell you that this is going to be only $44, that it would have to be worth that to one of you out there. If you are a diamond collector at all, you'll want that diamond. The age of it is an age that you won't come across in any other piece. Stunning item. Let's look at item 112-8123. 112-8123. Clock always gets away from me, because one thing I enjoy doing is, and maybe that's why the professor word works, because I love to teach. I love to share knowledge. And so sometimes for an item that's a few dollars, I will talk way beyond the amount of time I should. But this show was set up to educate you and allow you to buy the item that we're being taught about. There's no other show like that. Not that level of education. And again, it's a place where you can get items for not a lot of money, but you get a whole lot of knowledge for that. Let me show you something again you haven't seen really much at all. And 112-8123. All right, we're going to remove that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow. And this one, let me get that. Now, you don't, I'm such a cheapskate now these days at as little as I've been asking for these items. Well, you can't, you don't get the stand. I'll let you get the stands, but we'll just put this in there for the moment. All right. You know this is an ammonite, and you know an ammonite is a type of cephalopod, and it's related to the nautilus. So this is just one half of it. I only have this half. And so this was cut down through the middle, and it had chambers, and there was a siphuncle that ran through all these chambers. And the ammonite could control its buoyancy in the water through the water levels by using that siphuncle to either absorb water or gases to control it going up and down. Now, in these chambers, which are full during the fossilization process, you can see crystals have grown in them. Now, crystals can keep growing, and that's some mud. If you get a toothbrush down in there, electric one especially, that will probably clean out. I just didn't have time this morning to do that. So when the crystals keep growing, look what happens. They grow completely together, and then it's solid. So it's kind of neat to have a solid one to show where it winds up. So these two, you can see where they would have been crystals. Now when you have ones like this, they completely filled in with the mud. There is something lots more to show you about this, and it is the gemstone side of an ammonite fossil called ammonite. Ammonite, look at that. Look at that. Now, it's only the Canadian ammonite that really is used in jewelry, and what it is this exterior part of the shell, and what happens in the fossilization process, it becomes like an aragonite, and it's the different levels of the layers of the aragonite where light passes through, dispersing the light, creating these different colors. What I always love and look for is additional fossils in this portion right here. When you have mud that usually builds up and solidifies, it will often trap pieces of shell or other organisms. And that's exactly what you're seeing there. There is additional fossils right there. I think that's always really cool. You can see the red, and as we come away from this a little bit, you'll be able to see the piece in it, the entirety as we come away from it. And then you get to see it reflecting the light from many other angles. And then also, here's how they're measured. They're measured from right there straight across to here. So that's where and how they're measured. There are some that are so fine, the Canadian ones, they bring tens of thousands of dollars. This one is just a fun educational one to have because it's got all the highlights, including these fossils. It has this is mostly calcite that usually forms in these chambers. So it has everything to learn from. 100 million years old. And they were wiped out along with the dinosaurs. Price on this, it's polished, by the way. When you saw through it, it doesn't come out polished, so that has to be polished. It's a beautiful piece, and I think do I have it's grams, 33 grams instead of carat, by the way. And it's 2.75 inches. And I even notated on there with Ammonite on the outer shell. $18 is it. Only $18. Now, there's a big difference if you get one or you see one for sale and it has all these full. In other words, the crystals have grown together. That's less money. And if it doesn't have any of the Ammonite reflections, then it's not as much either. Let me try something. I was just going to try some different light. Because in other lighting, you're going to see a much brighter amount of Ammonite on the piece. $18 on that one. Okay, so quick little mini lesson there on those. Now, okay, this, I think it was Harry. I'm not sure if he was able to get it, but I think also there was a couple people that wanted to get a hold of item number 112-7423. 112-7423. And I decided, out of all the pieces that I have, I'm not going to have time to cut all the, and this again goes with something that we've just finished discussing. And let me get this out. This is a incredible opportunity. Let me wipe this turntable off. Now, all right, look at this. Yep, I decided I am going to offer one more of those Burmese peridot. And I, of course, saving you a lot of money by doing the preform, in other words, cutting away all the unneeded material and giving it its rough shape. Then I went ahead and polished a couple windows in it so I could look at and find the inclusions and where I wanted to work it. So when I get to this shape that you see, I'm actually hand holding it on the lap. So you can see how, this is just handheld, how I roughed out what's going to be an emerald cut in Burmese peridot. Now, when I showed you that other peridot having a level of magnetism that doesn't occur in all peridots. Remember, I said that the peridot runs from a magnesium silicate to a iron silicate and in between. So there is a range from phaelite to forsterite. And that's what gives it its different colors. Now, let me tell you the little difference. And you can see that in the colors of these two gems right here. All right. You see the amazing bright beauty to this? And then look at this one below it. Which is more yellow? Well, of course, the one on the top. That's the iron. Iron in peridot will give you a stronger yellow look. Now let's see what a magnet does. Okay, let's see what a magnet, wow, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yet to this one, it does. Can that help you determine origin? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. There's a definite difference in color. This one has very little yellow to the green. In the world of peridot, almost none. And it is iron that causes the yellow. So that explains why this is as green as it is and why maybe Burma peridot is so desirable. Because again, like I've said, let me show you, it is of a pure green color. Okay, now here's another way to tell peridot. You see the little inclusions in it like that? That's almost in all peridot. Even really what looks like, great job, Dave. What looks like really clean peridot, when you look at it, it'll have those little inclusions. So if you cut it properly, you can avoid a lot of those. And that's why I cut windows into it. Now, of course, you're looking at it magnified, so after it's cut and finished, you may not barely see them at all. Look at that. Look at that. So I cut windows, polished windows into this, so you can see and find those, so you can orient the gem in the best way you can, so that those inclusions don't show up. And you see what I mean? You don't see them as much as when you do and look at them in other directions. This is a really neat opportunity. Look at that green that I am, thank you, offering once again. And I would love to cut this stone. I have a couple more that I am going to cut. This will probably be the last one that I'll actually offer. I did a great preform on this, saving a lot of weight, and it's ready to be dopped and cut for the most part. So 13.65, I'd love to see someone keep that above 10 carat. Whoever gets it, let me know if you're able to. I'd be able to. Can you? The challenge is on. Price on this, I really don't know. It's going to be a lot more than what I'm going to ask. But, you know, what am I going to do? 52 bucks. $52. And, that, of course, great opportunity for somebody. Now, next, here's a little collection I have for you. 112-84-23. 112-84-23. This is a barrel collection. It is of two varieties of barrel. One, of course, no barrel is complete without an aquamarine. Look at that with shoral. Black tourmaline again. Look at that. Now, let's just focus on this one for a moment. Let me get my pointer. Look at what I found is really cool. How this is layered. Now, you're going to have albite feldspar. That's what this white is. Look at this neat rim like that. Isn't that neat? It's this white material, which is the albite, that has formed in with the aqua, but I just love the way that forms. If you were to do a straight saw cut or put this on a flat lap and polish it, that'd make a pretty attractive look. And then coming up here, this isn't a break or a cleavage. This, excuse me, you can actually see on the face of it a kind of a skeletal, if it was quartz, kind of a skeletal formation. So that's pretty cool. And then look down in from above. You can see clarity. Look at that. See my finger passing on the bottom all the way through it. Look at that. Wow. So even with the white inclusions, you can see, look at that, all the way through that. I wouldn't have expected that. Look at how strong and how blue that is. So of course that's going to make me want to get out my handy dandy flashlight and play. This is what takes me. Look at that blue. Hold. There you go, Dave. Do your magic. Let me do this too. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Looking at it like that, that looks like Santa Maria. That's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. That is gorgeous. And then, my. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. Look at that. So there is like a phantom growth going on there. Wow. That's why you need flashlights like I have. Look at those colors. So you can do exactly the things I do and show you on there. So you can do this at home. You buy a specimen, just don't take the specimen and put it on a shelf. No, you get it, all your little tools out, and you look at it, you fondle it, you light it up, you just do all the cool things you're supposed to do to learn about it. That's how you learn. All right, the other part to this parcel, and this is going to be the last and only one I think I will ever be able to offer, because I think I've sold them all. Russian Heliodor, or golden beryl. I just put golden beryl. Everyone uses golden beryl. It's Heliodor would be a proper use of the word because it has the correct colors. So here is your chance to get in on. Look at that facet grade quality in there, and then look at the zoning, some of the color zoning. That's pretty neat in itself. Wow, and look at how well formed that is. Yeah, I kept this one, I remember, because it had that clean section, and I was wondering about maybe cutting something out of it, but then I don't know. It's such an attractive crystal because look, just by chance, they are almost exactly the same height. Now I don't know why that would make it special. Just I think that it does. Look at where something else had grown or laid right in there, probably part of that shoral. Look at that. What if you made like a pendant with one stacked on top of another like that? That would be neat. It's just something real kind of a primitive look, you know, because these are crystals that came out of the ground and you leaving them like they are. All right, both of these, only $138. Only $138 for both. That's, again, a chance you're not going to come across. Oh, let me show you. You're going to like this. 112-7323. 112-7323. And, all right, now, this, I actually got this stone, and I cut it from the same rough. When I talk about Lightning Ridge and that batch of opal and that one opal, incredible black crystal that was inside the knobby that they thought was had no color, was just for potch, and it wasn't. Well, this was another item that I don't think they would have put it in with the batch if they would have known just how nice of a piece of opal it came out. Let me show you. Look at this. True. I'll show you the backside first. True black opal. Look at that back. I mean, that is really dark back. Now, I try to remove a little bit more of the clay there just to see where how far the clay went. And so I stopped. You could see the black dipping around down here. Now, you're probably wondering that you can't afford it. Well, you'll be able to afford it. Look at the front. Look at that lovely free-form shape. And I want to show you, it's 18 by 13. And let me wipe this off for a minute. Let me show you if, oh, look at that polish. I had just roughed this out, leaving it to finish. Oh, yeah. You're right. Thank you. Totally forgot about that. There we go. That gives us a much better viewing ability of it. Okay, so I had only done this intending to finish it at some other point. This could be simply drilled even at the top and a bale through it, and you could be done. Look at the fire patterns. Now, I'm going to show you something. In case you ever think, or someone says, oh, that's crazy. No, there's no crazing to this. I've looked at it real carefully, and it is really old. Now, clay can often cause crazing as it dries, but this is so old. I have it, the date of, I think on here, 1992. 1992, when I was in Lightning Ridge and had gotten that batch of opal. So let me show you something really neat. All right, I am going to backlight this. And then Dave's going to do his magic. And I'm going to show you, look at that. Look at that. There are two.
Treasure map.
Yeah, there you go, a treasure map. Wouldn't that be something? You know, base it on the opal and make it relative to an actual place, a map, like where two rivers come together. Oh, awesome. I can go wild about that. I think treasure map stuff. Yeah. Indiana Jones stuff, yes. The meeting of two rivers. Look at that.
No, it's not a river. That's where the lava comes down the mountain.
Ah, the lava that comes down from the, even better yet, a geology part to it. All right.
In Lightning Ridge somewhere.
In Lightning Ridge somewhere. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that's great, officer. I'm ready to go again. I've been to Lightning Ridge. I've been down in the mines there. I've been to a rugby match there. I've been to the club, which you have to actually sign. You go to a club. There's no bars in Lightning Ridge. You have to join a club, pay a little fee for the evening, like $3, to be a member for the evening, and then you get to drink a beer. It's a lot of fun. The way their laws are and do some things. All right, now what I want to show you now from this side, look at that.
Oh my God, a mummy.
A mummy, that's.
It looks like the skeleton bones.
Oh, it does look like skeleton bones.
And a pirate patch on the eye.
Pirate patch on the eye. I love it. I love it.
This is weird.
I am.
Maybe it is a treasure map.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I have never seen actually an opal exactly quite like that.
A hazard symbol with a like a turban.
Yeah,
patch on
neat.
the eye.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Keep going. And
No, it doesn't.
no, it does. It does. It does.
And sideways, it looks like a carrot.
That is so cool. I like that the lava. That is exactly what that looks like. In Colima in Mexico, that's where I actually saw the volcano there when I was 15 working as a missionary. And every evening when it was got dark, you could actually see the lava coming down the side of the mountain, and it was smoked all the time. So that was my big experience. Okay, so I'm showing you this because you may see under normal lighting two lines, white lines, and it kind of looks like maybe crazing, but look at that polish on the surface that I did with diamond. There is no surface lines or anything. Those lines that you see, they're just those clear areas. They're those clear areas. So wanted to point that out. All right, I have such a special deal on this stone. It's already cut enough if you're not a cutter and just want it for your collection. But if you are a cutter, then clean it up a little bit. Doesn't need much. How about this? Price on this guy. Let me see. I have these bags everywhere. I have this stone, which again is not something that I can offer in any other stone. I just don't have any other piece. That certainly has to be worth only $118. Yeah. Can you imagine $118? Other places what you might find that for? Not $118. That is a, well, 5.56 carats. So that's what, 20 bucks a carat or something. I didn't want to figure how much per carat because then I'll realize just what a doofus I am. Wow. All right. Now, oh my. I have a few moments with you. I want to show you a smaller version of this item. Now I showed you a big version, and I don't think in it. I don't think you bought it, but let's show you this. This goes back item 743017. Awesome. Let's see if you got it. 743017. It's an oldie but a goodie because I haven't showed it in years. Look at this, everybody. Look at this. This is one of the smaller size splits. This is incredible. Both sides. Remember I showed you one of the large ones, the trilobite? Look at that. Look at how well defined that one is. So there is the negative and the positive both. Look at that. Look at that. Image of both. This is one of the first creatures that had compound eyes. It's related to the horseshoe crab. And it, the horseshoe crab isn't too far removed from the way this looks now. There were many different species of trilobites. This was some of the early animals in the sea, and they survived for a long, long, long time. Look at that. So I have one pair this size left, and in cleaning up the office, I found it, and I'm going to offer, look at that, isn't that neat? You can come up with some stands for yourself on that, because at the price, again, I'm offering that for, woohoo, here we go. I am, that one's going to be on sale. How about this? $48. $48, that is all. Oh, let me get in one more quick item. I have 1110723. 1110723. Now, this is, so let me remove this. This is a amazing opportunity on a diamond. It's a 20-point diamond, 3.7 millimeter, 20, so it's a fifth of a carat. And I had several others, and somebody out there bought them all. Someone out there got all the others. This, look at that. You can see, so I have it against a really white paper, and diamonds are graded on their side for color. Because if you look at them from above, the brilliance of a diamond will negate that, that color. Now, look at the difference in the paper I put it in, and even the color of the paper, the diamond paper. You want a true white to look at it in, and that's why I have it in this little paper, because that is a true white. And so when you look at it through its side, if it appears almost colorless, look at that, without any tint of color, that's when you know you are in a fine white color range. Now, look at the brilliance to that stone. It is a SI1, so really, really, in the diamond world, a great clarity. There's going to be so many synthetic diamonds in the market. If you want natural ones, get them now. So there is a natural, remember I taught you all about naturals a while back, which is part of the original crystal that they will leave in the stone, because if they cut it out, it will drop the weight below a point they don't want it to be. Look at how white that is. So there is a little natural on the edge of the table being the top flat part. Now, there is no human way possible for us to be able to show you that. It is that tiny. So if it was any ability to show it to you, we would. But it's that small. But there we go. And let's see. Look at that. Wow, that's great. That's some fantastic camera work there. And then wow, look at that. Let me juice up the light a little bit. And wow, look at that. I have never been able to. Now the diamond, that's fine yellow, so we can sell it to you as either a fancy yellow. Look at that, how white that is. I was very conservative. That is probably more like EF. But anyway, at the edge of the table, you can't see it. You have to have a really powerful loop. But anyway, I'm just letting you know it's there. If you want in on that stone, and who knows, maybe for a single earring, or one day add it to something else or whatever, or just for your collection. Wow, look at how white that is. I am offering this deal of a lifetime, indeed. And let me see, the price I'm gonna make on this, you won't believe it. You will not believe it. I am offering a 1/5 of a carat diamond for only $98. $98. Look at how white that is. That is gorgeous. Okay, next time will have to be the last item on the show, even though I would love to keep going. I so enjoy what I do. And with these guys I work with. Item, wow, do I have to really quit? There's so many fun things back there. Okay, I'll quit whining like a baby. 104-9822. 104-9822. We have something made in America here. Made in America. Made not too far away from here. Not too far away from the settler that ran off with the chunky gal. This is from a part of North Carolina known as the Zircon Belt. And look at these zircons in this. Look at that. Look at a perfect double termination on that crystal. That is exactly what you want. Look at that. Oh, wow, that's lovely. Now, if you want to have fun learning how to clean up specimens, this would be a great one to work with. With a Fordham Dremel tool, or removing the softer material away from that. Now, let me show you. Let's see what else we have. We have one there. Yep, we have other. Look at the small ones. You can find them in here. Look at this. It would actually look like the rock would split easily. But then they also look at that. This is another one. They also look pretty cool in the matrix. So that's up to you. This is from the Jones mine. The Jones mine was closed in the 1960s. So that tells you just how old. I bought a flat of these. I was so thrilled. I got a great deal from a buddy of mine. Look at that. You can tell. See that reflection, that adulorescence? You can tell that is a feldspar. And in this case, it's microcline. Because of that moonstone, that adulorescence type. Look, that's so exciting. Okay, price on this, and then we'll have to close the show out. But I love this stuff. I love this stuff. All right. Someone take advantage of this, because, there'll be a day that will become so much more rare and valuable. It already is. If you went up there to a local trade show or a swap meet, you'd be the only one with anything from this particular mine. Offering that one for only Oh, I'm going to do it. Here's a special sale price, $38. There won't be another specimen I can offer that cheap. $38 on that. Oh, wow. That is all. Let's see, what time? Oh, I don't have time for another one. Okay, that will have to be it. I'll be right back with trivia. All right, well, you know, in starting to clean up here at the end, I just noticed it. Oh, lots of good stuff I didn't show, but I think I always say that. There's always something else, isn't there? If I can, last Sunday, had a big Sunday, bad Sunday, kind of big Sunday. Anyway, part of moving a big safe out of the office here, and I did some work that I shouldn't have done with my back. So had a little issue with that, lost a little bit of time this week. Next week, I am hoping to bring in, well, wait and see. You've been enjoying the specimens, so I think I might bring in a few more. Oh yeah, I have a few more. Okay, so let's do trivia. We're not going to do gem identification this week. We did a couple weeks of it. We're going to do more of it. You're not bad at all. Not bad at all. You know, when you if I graded you on a curve, remember that? Everyone never liked me because I threw the curve off. I scored too high, but yeah, you guys are coming along. You guys are coming along, and I'm just thrilled to be able to be here to get to ask you questions. And you know, we're here to have fun. We're here to learn at the level we want to, and then you're here to get the amazing deals on these items and get them. I need that tooth. I don't want to smile anymore until I get that tooth. I really am going soon. It has just been one thing after another. So don't think that I've forgotten about it. Can't eat corn on the cob anymore, you know? Just a row I keep missing. I can't figure out why. All right, try not to laugh at my own jokes. Here we go. Ready, set. What two basic elements make up quartz chemistry? What two basic elements make up quartz chemistry? Now, I wouldn't normally ask a chemistry question since I know so many of you dreaded that in school. But then there's the Barbaras and so many of you others out there also, though, do appreciate something. What you do need to know is simple, basic chemistry. And I think the makeup of quartz, which makes up sand, which makes up fossilized everything, coral, everything that converts to an agate, all that has to do with, not going to say it, almost gave you one away. It's important if you just know a few things, and quartz is one of them. You know what? I am hoping at some point we can get like an extra half an hour or something, or maybe we'll just go through the minerals and gems real quick, because then I would love to do a little piezoelectric test and show you some other interesting and educational things that you haven't got seen that I think you could really use, like, again, the magnet today. All of you should get one. There's a lot you can determine through that magnet, and you know, if enough of you do, then I'll also show you my most favorite site for minerals and magnetism, and the chart used, well, a cheat sheet, so to speak. Okay, that was question number one. Question number two, what element? Uh-oh, another chemistry question coming. What element affects the color in peridot? Now, that should be simple, and that is important, and it does relate back to determining what a particular mineral is or a particular gemstone is. I tell you what, if you have ever been taken ripped off by anybody. You will strive to learn more. And again, as much as I've ever known, you know, I got taken in Chef Shawn, Morocco on some galena geodes, and I will never forget it. I will bring in and I will show you that again if you hadn't seen that in a while, because I can tell the story on myself, and if I can be as wrong as I was and carrying around in one little bag for 4 days in Morocco, and my entire weight of the bag was all galena geodes with like one little extra shirt and some underwear, and that was it. You know, rocks before everything, and then you get back home, and what you thought you bought, you didn't. I didn't know everything I thought I knew. How about that? So, life's lessons. Some come easy, others come with a lot of weight. And, you know, it's not like I deal in feathers. No, we deal in something very heavy. So, all right, so what element affects the color in peridot? I don't want to give you clues. It's a needed, the answer is something you need to know, because it'll all relate back to a general education. And by the time you are done this educational opportunity you have, you will, wow, you could go work at many jewelry stores and know far beyond what jewelers would know. And then remember, don't forget the How It's Done series. When I look at some of those and I see 150,000 views, when I see, you know, even the most bizarre or unique How It's Done show has 5,000 views. I mean, it's like, wow, there's interest out there, and all of you have a first-hand opportunity on basically a close one-on-one with the comments directly via you that no one else has. So you have an open door to the professor's office at any time you want. Now, speaking of that, let me see if I have answer back for, let's see. Okay, so I was looking into, for Miss Barbara, on that petrified wood question, and okay, Miss Barbara. Okay, the petrified wood. Look at, see this. Look how quick and instant this is available, but you have to use an alternate, but they'll need to give your number as the alter ID. The item number for it is, ready, 482, and excuse my needing to use some magnification here, but there's so many zeros. Ready? It is 482-7000823. Try that alt ID number, and you'll get your petrified wood with any luck. I am actually going to tell Christy to set it aside for you, Barbara, so that no one else gets it. So even when this airs for you on Monday, it should still be available. Christy is top notch in that department. Okay, so thank you all. Everyone just be safe. Keep yourself cool and calm through this hot, miserable summer. I'm ready for fall. God bless all of you. Thank you again for all your kind words, all your kind support. And I don't know what I'd do without you. Really don't. See you next Monday. Cheers.